Okay, welcome back. Where's the quickest area out of town? Now, how do I get to the Hergert house? That's Radrick's Hold. Compass, Andra's Gift. I guess for now I'll go to the town. Alright. Alright, I think before I go visit Realm for some other things, where is... Guess I'll go over here. Let's see what's out here. Here. Okay. Downstairs and where's this office?
Well met, friend.
What? But first, we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Don't worry, I'm sure we won't hear any of it. Very well. To begin, tell me something personal, something from a time before your awakening. Here's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in the Sithwood. What do you remember about your home? As you speak to Aelith, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the midst of his own memory. Belsage doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are soothing his essence, untangling its many threads. Comfortable, modest, quiet when Mother's away, which is, most of the time, quiet enough to hear the clink of glass on wood. This is when I know to be the most careful. Father is good about hiding the bottles. Mother, when she is home, is good at pretending not to notice them. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. I'm in my 5th year of training. Mother is home, and I can let my guard down a little because when she is around, he is usually only angry with her. But when he heard that I have had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable, he is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I'm sweeping the kitchen, the next I am sprawling on the ground, stupidly looking at flecks of blood on the tile. His boots glistening with fresh polish thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals. But it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves to something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against the field of black. He's hypnotized himself with the old memory. You've got to bring him out of it quickly. I almost have it. Aelith, you gotta wake up. You've scuttled him off. Wilting lazy, that one. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence. Something spreading and congealing. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. Crackling bones and voices high and higher. The warm molasses feeling the crisps down in your gut when your crisis is nigh. Benefito, we have flares of a totally distinct essence. Now, try to get the two of them talking. Aelith, ask Isimir what's going on. Sticking weed, worming parasite. You'd say the same to your own kindled twig when it betrays ye. Ha! I think she has the advantage of you there, Aelith. Yeah, good, yes, very good. I can now see the two separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakened soul fills the spaces that he leaves empty. Go on. Ismail, what are you taking from him? Nay, more than I'm giving. You should ask what I did to awe this man of his. How the last time he laid a hand on us, I break it in 3 places. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. Nay, was awakening, but now I'm stuck with ye, and damned if I let ye ninnying drag us both through this scupper. Ah, very good. I think we finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Isilmir's essence throughout the exchange. He is a particularly high density index during the most heated portions of the argument, and her essence seems to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's ribcage. That's right around the spleen, which of course means she is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. That's utter horseshit. Doesn't seem as though she's got one thing right. Doesn't. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation. I think it's related to potential sources of trouble for Aelith. I suppose that could be true. We have to check this against other research. Well and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Advancing the right wise principles of animancy. Just what you've always wanted. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not after her nonsense. Aye, gonna help ye explain this one, Scholar Boy. Okay. That doesn't help me. There's supposed to be an office down here. Oh, I've got to first talk to the statue.
You must get.
A well-maintained statue in the middle of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down unblinkingly over the bustle of hurried academics pestered by the hopeful disparate. A strong warmth emanates from it, which you could sense from across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned to you. It has been a long time since a watcher graced these halls. I am envious of your natural insights, traveler. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what is it that brought you to my sanctarum? You may have a member of the Lighting Key in your midst. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether the calamity has struck on its own, but a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I am reminded how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are at odds with the lead and key, I take it. I don't like what they stand for. If you've been able to discern what precisely they do stand for, I will be fascinated to hear it. Just another collection of cowards trying to hold back the tide because it frightens them. It seems to me. Do you have any some idea of who this person might be? I suspect it's a patient. Very well, in that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here or in their offices below. You will report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. Does anyone know... Farewell. Oh, level up. I'll take care of that. Yeah, I'll just take care of that now. Alright, with that done... I already spoke to you. Is there anything... Oh, there's a new door open. Alright.
Hello.
Farewell.
I see where you're going with that.
I can just... Okay. Little bits of lore. That's neat. Alright, time to talk to this guy again about Onzo.
Hello!
Experiments? Credman Onzo's in charge of patient welfare now. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. I am disappointed in Credman. I had hoped he would be one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in his office or in the patient wards. I'm granting you intermediate access so you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak with him further on this matter, and I, for one, am curious to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask also that you do your best not to agitate the patients. Right. Where's this patient ward? I'm guessing it's still downstairs. Up and down, up and down. I don't really know what to say. I don't know what to talk about. Huh? Where is... Alright, so where is this guy? Can't open that. Anything over this way? That's... I can open this. What's in here? Okay. Can't get on that door. Alright. That's locked. There's the patient. Alright. Where do I have to go to find this guy? Oh, hello, Onzo. A round-faced, balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
Well, yes, well, Ethomir hasn't done much good for anyone since he had his soul moved into an inanimate object. So I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If animancers are supposed are all follow the commands of their leaders, where would we be? We'd all be as backward and willfully ignorant as reciters. I'm not trying to say that. We would know nothing about life or death, or even ourselves. We would even be lost in the dark with no clue as to why. I never thought I'd find myself in agreement with a statue, but Ethelmir's right about this fellow at least. How easily ambition masquerades as prudence. I'll bet he's fooled even himself. You toy with things beyond your comprehension. Surely there's other paths that don't risk involving
Indeed.
lives.
Many lives have been spent in such pursuits, writing treatises and poems. But tell me this, how does one verify the truth of a poem? If some philosopher stumbled across the meaning of our existence, how would we know it from a false one? These are wasted lives. In Animancy there is progress. We are measurably closer to complete understanding because of our work. And that will be true until our work is complete.
Aha. I have to disagree in terms of humans should not be playing with souls. I think there's a good number of stories as to why this should not be something we play
Who
with.
will solve Widewen's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an Animancer, or it will be no one at all.
I have, yes. No point in lying about it, now that Ethelmir's involved. I asked for volunteers from our patients, and a few brave souls came forward. I was very close at one time to a breakthrough. They understood that. They understood their sacrifices would mean something. You're going to get a lot of looks asking questions like that in the Sanctarum for the unbalanced. In truth, I've spent little time treating them since I've been reduced in my capacities. You might have luck with some of our more functional patients. They tend to congregate in the main area just past the entrance to the patient wards. Alright, so I gotta talk to patients now. Cool. Alright. Let's try the named ones. What do you know about the... Oh, I like him very much. Many animancers don't care less about... could care less about their patients. Look at us like vermin for their experiments, but Master Enzo treats us like humans, even the very sick. You can tell he does this to help people. He's helped me understand a great deal about myself. I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad that they did what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. What happened to him? They don't talk about it, but there was an accident. He was said to be one of the brightest in Druidwood. That was his reputation here, and that was what brought me to seek treatment. People say it was ego that drove him to try and solve the legacy, but that's hogwash, even if it was a bit of a showman. He loves his homeland. He thought he could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work. Suspected his colleagues may have tried to steal it, but he told me once that he had figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy, I think he called it? Had some machine that drew energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? The point is, he was going to help with the legacy. He was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. Gods know, that's something we need. Do you know what they call those empty little babies in Audra's gift? They call them buoys, because many of them are found floating face down in the water. These are mad times. Anyway, Mr. Anzo had scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copper Lane. He was so excited. Then the next day he was locked in his office, turning away visitors. I heard he had stopped seeing patients. I don't know exactly what had happened, and don't know how. I don't have the heart to ask him, but I'm glad they're letting him treat people again. Have any patients been unusual? Well, there's Beatrixa, who relives the murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Idleman, who they say only has half a soul and was found collecting the faces of others because he believed his own was a false one. Graham, he speaks in a language no one understands and wails at night sometimes. Different from their normal behavior, I mean? Well, yes, I suppose. But nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Anzo let us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy, and that he would be escorted to his laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me that it's gotten quieter there since it started. Would I be able to visit North Ward? They like to keep them separate. I don't know that I've ever seen guards allow a visitor, just Master Anzo. You might ask him, he's sympathetic. Why are you here? I don't want to say. They'll think less of me. You can tell me I'm going crazy too. You shouldn't tease. No one here can help what they are. I know, I've tried. These last few years haven't been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I try not to think about it personal. I try to think of it personally. I lost my husband and both boys in the Saints' War. My daughter, the legacy took her before she was ever mine. I made do. What else can you do? I moved to a tiny place in Nadra's gift. Got by mending clothes and the kindness of strangers when I had to, but I was surviving, and the gods were watching over me. I could live with that. Then one day this noblewoman comes in, wants this fancy gown fixed. Gorgeous thing. This shade of blue I'd never seen before, only I had looked at it and it reminded me of something I had what they call an awakening. I remember being a noblewoman myself in another life. People doting over me, men doting over me. Me! The best food, the most beautiful home, all the things you'd never dare to dream of. They were mine. It was poison knowing that. All those things I had that I'll never have in this life. It did something to me. My food started to taste rotten. The walls of my little room seemed a little too close around me. I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. It was that or break into an estate and start ordering servants around. It seemed like such a silly thing to worry about. You don't have to tell me, but I can't get past it. And I start to wonder. Did the gods choose this life for me? And if so, what terrible thing must I have done to deserve it? Maybe they did. I wish I had known. Back when I was a noble, maybe I'd have done things differently. Alright, so the North Ward. Guessing it's over here. Or is it this one? I don't have access to it. Let's try over here.
And what do we have here?
Shrooms. Alright, let's go talk to this guy and see if I can get access to the wards.
Consider it done. There. What did I tell you?
I can just...
There. What did I tell you?
Alright, neat.
What is it?
Your forehead seems damp all of a sudden. Perhaps I should discuss your insubordination with the head
You
warden.
smug cretin. How dare you come down here and meddle? You have no idea the importance of my research.
He balls up in his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger. A growl simmering beneath his breath and a deep scowl.
Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
Alright, let's see what madness I'm about to see. Open the door and enter. This man has a look in his eyes like a hunted animal, and as you approach, he staggers backward to the far corner of her cell, halfway appearing as though he would climb the walls if it would put him further away from you. He cries out, a bizarre primal utterance, nothing like you have heard. You can't hide from me, Lyndon Key. Graham looks at you blankly. It is unclear whether he understands you or not, but his panic has momentarily subsided. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words that come out are half-formed, as though his tongue were cut out. They are impossible for you to discern, if indeed they are words at all. I don't think he can speak anymore. Not words, at least. This is monstrous. You're afraid. Do certain visitors make you afraid? You project out toward the maimed soul in front of you, merging with it, its confusion and fear becoming yours as it whisks you into its depths. You are in the cell. A key turns. The door creaks open on neglected hinges. Thoughts come to you in waves. Incomplete, broken, fearful. Standing at the door is a rotund, balding man. His upper teeth and pointy nose remind you of a rat. He beckons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else. In your mind is a single word. The word is no. But it dissolves before it reaches your lips. You press against the back wall. Cornered, you cry out. In darkness, you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks into the room carrying a lit candle, its meager flame casting long shadows across books and machinery. Straps bind your arms and legs. Cold metal circumscribes the crown on your head and the breadth of your chest. The man is sorry. He is in need of raw materials. They dismantled his work, and he needs another source. He needs to show them he was right. He thanks you. He then turns the knob, and you feel yourself begin to crack from within and feel pieces of you torn away, like having your insides chewed by a horde of rats. And you are screaming, a scream that you can barely hear. Another night, heavy footsteps outside your door coming for you. You look through the slit on your door, a flesh giant and artificial being just outside, but facing left, facing the end of the hall, the boy there. The boy looks with interest at the giant, then collapses to the floor like a shed snakeskin. The giant convulses for a minute, then rights itself, turns away, and leaves. Alright, end of the hall.
These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the... Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
Alright. A willowy adolescent boy stands in the center of his cell. Gauish and stoop-shouldered, he stares straight ahead. The occasional blink is his only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. In this state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed should you wish. You close your eyes and edge forward towards the boy's soul, and as you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You are cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one. A parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to react. Already you feel yourself plunging into some interminable abyss of thought and memory. You are standing in a cell now, same cell, in the sanctorum. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a golem. In silhouette beneath the stone archway, it makes its usual rounds, The same stops every time, the misbegotten child of despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you collapsing to the floor, the puppet whose strings are cut. You are rushing toward the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly, you think to yourself quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in this new vessel you are strong again. You step heavy-footed down the corridors, unheeded by the other constructs and scrutinized only by the weary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at least in office piled with books and scribbled papers and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands in a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires, unsetting alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them. They dissolve into a blur, and they set you in place again. You are outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd, stacked high above you, and teetered seats of an amphitheater. You are acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl, but this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous, unlike the others. This one has no soul of its own. The man speaks and the crowd applauds with enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. "Bear witness," he says. As he pulls the lever, the machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow, and the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe as a crystal globe fills with radiant mist and casts the entire theater aglow. He opens the valve, and the glow crawls through a tube along the length of copper wiring that runs to a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his work astray periodically for some time now, altering notes, setting the playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with a soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark, and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back to the crowd. "Behold," he says, but there's an obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take a prodding step forward, then another, and you look at the man, giving him eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks, in a volume meant for the crowd. And at this moment, at the top of your lungs, you let a piercing shriek. The man comes toward you, his hands outstretched, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down to the surface of the machine again, drawing panic screams from the crowd, and by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function. It merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another, unsuspecting host, one who could put their faith in animancy now. You are pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes. Deeper and deeper, past betrayals, murders, lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle last on a room you have seen before, expansive with a tall device, encasing an Adra monolith at its center. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and one catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There is no mistaking now that the soul of the man who caused your awakening and that gazes from the burlesque, a watcher. Now not just a watcher, someone who will break those frail little legs. I'm looking for. I believe we share a common past. I'm looking for some answers. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise. His eyes soften for an instant, and it seems for that moment he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, then seems to think better of that he was about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look, your hunger. Hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backward with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly he slumps forward. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Okay, cool.
How may I help?
Let's try to do some things.
I'm here.
What buffs can I grab from you?
Yes?
You don't have access to anything quite yet.
Love!
Let's go!
Alright. Oh.
I'm here.
Following your lead. Suck it!
Where are you?
Following your lead.
Actually, that's not something I want to use. I want to use that. That.
I?
Ready, Watcher.
Alright.
I?
That was something. I guess I'll talk to Anzu. Oh.
Yeah.
Brave Dalfilathil. Stand still!
Cool.
Let's
Alright. So, pop that. Things are getting more exciting here.
Word on Saru. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Stand still.
Yeah.
Alright, let's make our way to Anzu then. Or not.
Brave Dalfilathil. Let's Word on Saru. Let's go. Let's go.
Pathfinding is. Well, the wolf made it. What have you done? You've been experimenting with patients against their will, mangling their souls. I have witnessed it with my own eyes. How could you possibly... Look, it had to be done. Ithilmir and the others, they knew everything. They took everything from me. Everything that I... everything. When I was this close, I had to know. I had to know where I failed and why. Imagine the value if I succeeded. If I had something that could make all these hollow-born infants into something like a real person. And with a few more patrons and a few years of research, who knows? No one would have come close with the legacy. It's why I had to continue. Why I have to risk everything here, working in secret. That's why you have to lie to Ithilmir for me. Tell him you've cleared me of all suspicion.
Then I can't let you...
Oh, okay.
Yes?
Oh, I think he's already... Alright. That's a pity. Lockpick, silver. Alright, that's a pity.
Let's go!
What in the blazes happened down there? You were given permission to ask questions. I have read accounts of people in history who could do what you described. The accounts are few and brief and never reliable. Some go as far as to suggest they were all the same person. If truly such a person was here among us, plotting our ruin, would I have would that I have had a body again that could be of some real use in our time of need. I fear what the future may hold for this place. I am grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was a loss of innocent life. We very nearly had another scandal on our hands. I confronted Ozo and was forced to kill him. Such a waste. There was none more gifted working here. In time I had hoped to rehabilitate his image, but a mind like his, so full of ideas, leaves little room for patience. I would inquire more into the matter, but in truth you have done this institution a favor. Were his transgressions ever to reach the public, there would be terrible uproar. I was blind to have trusted him for a second time. I trust you'll be more cautious in the future inquiries.
Hello!
That's end of that. Well, I guess that's the end of this. Until next time, have a blessed day, and maybe don't cause a panic in an asylum.